Howdy, everybody. It's another Tuesday. How's everybody doing?
Excellent. You?
Good. Busy.
Yep, same here.
Don't have
real
a
busy,
moment.
but yeah, real busy. Got out on the water though, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, I got out twice this weekend.
Yeah.
But did you guys get out?
I did not. I was being a good husband and getting a lot of stuff done around the yard because I'm going to another kayak fishing derby this weekend. So I made sure last weekend it was getting stuff done around the house for Mama Bear.
Yeah, for sure. You need the brownie points.
Well, and maybe I spent Saturday shooting shotguns though too. So.
Oh yeah. What did you do, Broden? You worked on that monstrous garden?
I did a little bit of garden work, but I actually worked on organizing a lot of my fishing gear, and I managed in my little split-second decision decide to make a kayak rack. So now I've got all my kayaks up against the wall. So they're all stationed. So all I have to do is take whichever one I want to grab. I'll just grab it, throw it on the roof, and take off.
Can you still park the car in there?
No, that's not a priority.
Not so winter, at least.
It's a summer plan. So because my car, like, there's no snow, so you leave the car outside, it's fine. And then when winter comes, I've got these pulleys and stuff that I'll put them all up against along the roof because they won't get touched for 6 months. So they'll be out of the way, and then I'll have my car back in there.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, the video's not done. I haven't even looked at it yet.
It's on the hard drive.
By the end of the week.
Where's the video? I want to see it.
I think Thursday I'll have a day to do stuff maybe after work.
So next Thursday it'll be done.
No, I can do it in a night. We'll go quick. Yeah. So Open Creek Dam 2 weeks ago. Awesome event.
How'd you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun to get out and rip around, chase some monster rainbows.
Nobody caught the ones. Nobody caught any of the broods. It sucked.
No.
That's actually our first year out there that during the event that somebody hasn't caught a brood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw one.
Yeah, there was some really big, ugly looking ones just swimming around.
Yeah, that really big one, it's 12 pounds, 15 pounds, whatever it is. It's a monster. The back of it now is just destroyed because the eagles have come down and the osprey have tried to grab it and pick it up and haven't been able to get it. So they've just ripped the back open and stuff. It's awesome.
Huh. Zombie rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was an amazing event. How do you guys think it went all in all?
I have to say I can't thank everybody enough for coming out to the event. Obviously, with it being the Alan Zilkowski Memorial, I mean, it's very near and dear to my heart, and in memory of my dad that passed, that used to come out and kayak fish with us, and having everybody out there kayak fishing. I mean, it was great. This year we had both my son and my daughter competed. We had Joe Gotti's daughter Maggie, she competed. So we're getting more kids coming out. There's more families coming out and camping. It was a phenomenal weekend. We had great weather. We had a great group of people, and the fish cooperated for some, and for some of the people that we thought for sure were gonna be at the top of the leaderboard, there was some that got no fish, and that kind of blew us away.
But yeah, that's fishing for you, unfortunately. But yeah, it was super good. It's, I think, not quite as big as last year in numbers, was it?
Too short. But
too short.
We also had three people cancel out because 2 people because of work, and then another guy, his truck basically wouldn't make it out of Blackfold, so he couldn't come. So
yeah. But no, it was a really good event, and like everyone who actually does come to one of the events realize it's really family orientated. We actually like to help each other out and get everyone on the water, and everyone's up for a good chat and a bit of a laugh while you paddle past them or pedal past them. But no, it was really good. Like Mike said, great weather. Like I had great fun I decided to bring my one weight out because of all the small fish. which was just hilarious.
Yeah, Carl Ball. Yes. So one of my fellow Wilderness Pro Staff team members, Ray Montez, came out from Virginia Beach, Virginia, to come out and fish the Derby with us. So props to Ray, because there was a wedding, a grad, all of this stuff going on that weekend, and he skipped out on the wedding to come up and fish the Derby with us. And then right after the Derby, he took off and headed down to Banff for the reception. So thanks, Ray, for coming. It was cool having somebody come up from the state. He had never fished for anything really in Canada, so he had kind of hung out around Tabor, caught some pike, caught some walleye, and then he came up, and I had an old Ride 135 of my brother-in-law's that he's selling, so I brought it home, and I'm like, well, I'll take that for Ray. And he's like, I love it, man. I love this boat. And the guy rocked it. He placed 5th, never fishing for trout. I gave him a box full of flies, didn't tell him what to use. I'm just like, here's a bunch of flies. He tied on a dragonfly nymph and just sat there paddling all day, trolling it behind a spin rod, and took 5th place. So it was amazing to see.
Yeah.
Nice. He's super nice dude too.
Oh yeah. And the funny thing was, for those who were there, just give me 1 sec. I just got to look and see what his last name is. It was Les Markham was our lucky winner. We had I think it was Les, or no, Les was the guy in the belly boat. I'll have to go back.
Yeah.
But yeah, we gave away a Garmin Echo Map 95 with live scope, courtesy of GPS Central out of Calgary. So, I mean, that was a phenomenal for them to step up and say, hey, we want to be the hosting sponsor of this. It couldn't have been better. My dad was the biggest technology nerd you ever would have met. I mean, he made everything. He had probably every GPS that had been made up until the point he passed. So it was pretty cool to have them. But yeah, I mean, our prizes. What did you end up with there, Mitch, for a prize?
I got a Garmin. The heck was it?
The Striker Cast GPS.
Yeah, that little fella.
That thing's awesome for those stock trout lakes. You just go and cast it. I've got one, so I put it on a great big rod with 60-pound braid. I just cast it out, hook it to my phone, and just cast across, map those stock trout ponds out, and then you've got it in your GPS contours on that quick draw, and away you go. They're great.
Can you download that so it'll go on your other Garmin?
Well, yeah, you put it to, you sign into your
captain or whatever.
Yeah, you sign into your account on the app, and when you quick draw it, you can take it from there and upload it into your chart plotter.
That's sweet.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking how I'm gonna set it up on the belly boat with my phone mounted somehow.
Yeah. And then you push the share to community button, and then I get all your maps.
Yeah, but all you get is the contours. You don't know, you don't get to know who mapped it.
Oh no,
or where the hot spots are. You just know that it's mapped. Yeah, that's what I love about that. I've got one of those as well, and I've taken it out. When I first got mine, I took it out to a golf course and cast it out into the pond, and I was playing with it. People are like, "This is a golf course." I'm like, "Shut up!" Product testing. It was great.
Yeah, I think I'll just bring another rod when shore fishing, cast it out on that rod, then fish with the other rod.
Yep.
Like, you do that? You're not fishing.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Use like a 60-pound braid with a good clip on it, and then you can cast it out and just cast it back and forth, and kind of right where you're doing. Do about 5 or 6 casts and cover an area in front of you, and then you'll have a contour map, and then you can look at that and decide where you're going to cast it out, and then you'll know where exactly you want it to be, and then you'll actually see the fish coming in.
And there's a funny video I saw a little while ago of someone using one, and so what he did the same thing as Mike's did, but he had a little tri barrel swivel about this far ahead of it with a line, and on his fish finder he got to see the fish come and grab it, and then he had like a little bobber and all that. So it was a contraption and a half, but it was just hilarious to watch.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, I'm excited to use it on Abraham, maybe from shore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abraham.
Martin
good.
Lakers. Because that lake's not mapped. I guess I could take Tinny out and map it, but for the big boat.
Yeah, no, it's been a good year so far as the trail goes. You know, I'm just looking here. So yeah, we had 47 for the trout on the fly, and then the next day we did a sucker derby, which was a blast. We hosted a sucker derby the first couple years of the trail, and it was good. And then there was no fish. So the one year we had like a 18 or 21 way tie for first place because nobody caught a sucker. The first year, like 2 people caught suckers. This year we had 34 people out at Open Creek Dam fishing for suckers.
Huh.
So to put it in perspective, Curtis Jensen won that and won $560 for catching suckers.
Oh yeah.
Joe Gotti got second place at 336. My first top 3 placing since I started the trail, and I took third place, got $224, and I caught you were there, you know, the dock where we all launched. I literally sat at the dock and caught my 3 suckers that gave me third place.
Nice.
I'm calling for a recount because the guy never places. So
it had to happen. Hey, it had to happen at some point. That many years. I've been doing the East Slope since the second year of the East Slope, so it was about time I finally got a placement better than 7th.
Broden, what happened to your 0 weight out there?
Oh, the 1 weight?
Your 1 weight.
Oh yeah, it's lots of fun until the locking nut on the spool decided to bounce off the back of my kayak, and as I cast, I watched my spool fly off into the water. Lucky enough, it was tight. The end of the line was tied on, so that was fine. I brought it in. I went to the nut and bolt shop and found a nut to fit over it, and now it's got like a little nylock nut on it.
Oh, nice.
But no, that thing's great. Like seriously, if anyone, like if you go into a little stock pond and you know there's only a bunch of like 10s and 12s, it's just the most hilarious fun you'll ever have. It's just basically a wet noodle.
Yeah.
That's like that. I don't know if you saw me trying to use it out there. I've got I've got a 3-weight fiberglass, and that thing you get the slightest bit of wind, and man, you might as well try and just whip a wet noodle against a hurricane. It just doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. But it's great. I mean, you catch a 7-inch rainbow on it. It feels like it's about a 36.
Oh yeah. I use my 3-weight for everything almost.
I've got 2 3-weights.
Too much.
No, you can never use your 3-weight too much. There's just limitations sometimes.
Oh,
see, that's the problem. That's your problem with your boat. That's why you need a pedal drive kayak, because you hook into something big with your 3-weight. You can just start pedaling and chasing it down the lake.
I just go like this.
Yeah.
And then it just follows it along.
Yeah. That's cheating. Okay, Broden, I got to say, you look like Spider-Man sitting there, dude.
I thought that when he first came on, and I was going to say something, but he ran away.
Well, for anyone wondering, this is actually the Cross Canada Walleye Kayak event jersey. So it's got the big logo on it but yes, it does look like a set of PJs.
No, it looks like you're trying to be Spider-Man.
Who says I'm not? I'm Aussie Spider-Man.
Oh no.
No. But no, it's another.
So you never hang upside down. You're always up. You're always this way.
No. Yeah. But for anyone's interested, you obviously can't enter it this year because it's they've closed it off. It's another Canada-based tournament, and basically you just target walleye for the whole year, all the way into November 15th.
Does it just go by the biggest one or by inches on everything?
Top 4.
Oh yeah.
So I just missed out on the 100-inch club last year, but I also didn't target a lot of walleye last year too. So
top 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So averaging 25-inch fish basically to get into the 100 club. Yeah, I know. But like I said, I didn't target a lot of walleye. I was on a trout binge last year.
All you got to do is ask Ben. Ben can put you on. He can take you to his secret spot at a lake, probably about an hour and a half from here, and he's been out there before. There was 6 or 7 of us out there in kayaks, and Ben was the only angler that caught a walleye that was 28 inches.
Huh.
And at the time, he was in his little 6-foot Pelican kayak and probably 8 years old.
Is there still big walleye in there though?
Yes. Yep. There's still big walleye because it's there's a no limit, or there's a no keep of anything in that lake. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well then.
And there's no big boats.
Oh.
Oh,
Well, you can take a big boat, but there's you've got a speed limit. So basically, you're on your trolling motor the whole time in the lake.
Huh. That narrows
Or
it
I
down immensely.
Well, I guess you could probably run your kicker. If you ran your kicker the whole time, you'd probably be okay.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. No, I think I don't know. Are you guys both going to Buffalo this weekend?
I'm too busy with work, unfortunately, so I will be working all Saturday and possibly Sunday. But I will be heading down to Carroll's side the week after.
So is your better half coming to fish with us, though?
Possibly, yes. But the thing is, I'll have to load the kayak up for her as I cry before I go to work, as I watch her go fishing.
So just load it up tomorrow, and then you're not crying before.
Nah, unfortunately, our garage, you can't load the kayak up in the garage out, like it just scrapes the kayaks.
Yeah, Jonathan, this weekend, kayak fishing derby at Buffalo Lake. If you go on Facebook and search out Western Canada Kayak Fishing Trail, you'll see everything you need to know about it. So it's open to any man-powered vessel. No motors, no sails, no nothing. But yeah, we're going out kayak fishing for pike, walleye, perch, and burbot, I believe, are what's on there. But I don't think we've ever... We throw everything in there to see what we get, but I think the only thing that we've ever seen in those derbies is the pike. So,
well, according to fisheries say there is burbot and a population of walleye in there, and that's why they give us those regulations. It's just obviously they're a little bit harder to find compared to the pike.
Yeah, and that's one of those things, right? Pike, walleye, and burbot, no perch. Thanks, Carl. Yeah, so it's one of those things that. It's not in the regulations or anything, but just because of the work we've done over the years and how close of a relationship we have with fisheries, they allow us to go in and fish for these species. Well, Jonathan, reach out to me. I've got 2 in my garage for sale. They're both paddling ones, and they're both great kayaks.
There you go.
But yeah. So we've created a great relationship with fisheries, and because of that, a lot of our fishing events, we're able to go through and, like Glenifer Lake, where we host the East Slope. You're allowed a 1 pike and 1 walleye. Well, because of the relationship we have with them and stuff, we're able to. We've proven it over the years and years and years of working with fisheries of how good our organization and our anglers are handling these fish with the catch, photo, release, that we're allowed to keep over what the limit is, because it technically, if you take a photo of a fish in Fish and Wildlife's eyes, that is your retention for that water body. So yeah, so for that, we're very fortunate that, like, for any of these fishing events, we're fortunate that we've built that relationship with them, that we're like, well, we don't want just 1 pike. We want 2, we want 3, but instead of it being any size, we're going to throw a minimum size and stuff like this. So we've really been working with them over the years, and we've got a great group of anglers, like Broden can attest to. I mean, we've got guys that are hardcore fishermen that'll stop to go and help somebody else out when they see that they're struggling with a fish. So it's a great, well, and you even probably saw it there at Open Creek, yeah. Right? Like it's such a great group of people kayak fishing. It's a lot different. The kayak fishing tournaments that we run in Western Canada Not only our trail, but there's also a West Coast kayak anglers, and they do mostly saltwater events. They got a couple freshwater events, but they're mostly saltwater. They're very much like us. You know, kayak fishing is a lot different than the big bass and the big walleye tournaments and stuff, where we'll gladly stop fishing to help out a fellow angler instead of just watching them struggle. So it's really cool. The camaraderie and the family that we have, it's phenomenal. Like Broden, would you say that you've ever seen a closer fishing family than the kayak family?
Well,
not in Australia. You can't count Australia. It doesn't count. You're in Canada.
Well, yes, if we're not counting Australia, because Australia, we had a very tight-knit fishing club back there. But yes, in Canada itself, you definitely, everyone's there to help you. Our group chats, if anyone's going out, they will sort of say, hey, I haven't fished. We let a lot of information out and we help each other out. It's like, the thing is like we're always trying to look after what we consider our family. And that's what we sort of aim to be. We consider just one big family, look after everyone, because you never know when you need help, especially out in the lake. Like myself personally, I've got a lot of ocean experience, so I'm not too worried about like paddling out in 3-foot swell and all that sort of thing. But I understand a lot of people who have a little bit of trouble with some of the bigger swells. So obviously it helps to go out there and help them and sort of make them feel a bit more confident in it and to ride the waves, basically.
Yeah, no, sure. and that's just it, right? I mean, I think it's great, and I absolutely I love to see. I mean, Mitch, before Open Creek, how often did you kayak fished?
Probably more than Broden.
Oh
no, I've never been out. That was the first time, and you could really tell how was really everybody was a big family out there. Everyone pretty much knew everybody. If they didn't know you, they'd still come talk to you and make you feel
if
welcome.
They didn't know you, they came over to introduce because they were like, "Oh my God, you're somebody new. I need to know who you are."
Or if you're Flynn, you thought that if you're Flynn,
someone thought I was Broden for the longest time because I was in his paddle.
Yeah, that was Flynn. But like,
because Broden had just bought that pedal drive kayak off of Flynn, so Flynn figured that it was Broden out there. That's great. You should have been like, yeah, fishing sucks. I suck.
Yeah.
My ego doesn't get hurt by that.
Oh no. No, I will say this. I think our kayak fishing community, like the Western Canada Kayak Fishing Trail, and I'm going to throw this out there, and dear God, don't let this go to your head. But since Broden has been a part of it, it is definitely, I've never met a guy that has been more willing to stop what he's doing. I mean, I only would love for Broden to give me as many hooks and lures as he gives my son. Because every time he sees Ben, he's like, hey, come here. They're out on the water, and Ben's like, nothing's working. I'm like, go ask Broden what's working. He goes over to Broden. Broden's just like, here's a bunch of flies, like just handing him stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm right here.
Yeah. I think I gave him like over a dozen flies.
Oh, probably. I mean, every time Broden's come to my house for something, Ben walks out to say hi to Broden. Broden opens his car and hands him a bunch of fishing lures and stuff. Like, Broden is a true ambassador of the sport. He is really what this sport is all about. Broden embodies that mentality of, I want to help you out. I want to see you out kayak fishing. And yeah, I'm so super proud to say that Broden is one of our trail directors on the trail, because he's absolutely great with that. He has absolutely no qualms in stopping what he's doing to help out any angler at all. So that's truly what the trail's about.
Yeah, very, very much appreciated, Mike. And like, I've been in my own hairy situations, and I don't like seeing other people struggle. And I'm always willing to help out. So if anyone is also looking and not sure about certain lakes, reach out to me. Like or certain species. I know I've got a few videos if anyone wants to see of me struggling with a few 40-inch pike, which gets a little bit hairy in a kayak.
Broden, I'm not sure, but I think we need to see if you can copyright a hold, because Broden has a way of holding giant pike with a hand and his toes that they don't move. So you got to copyright that. Every time somebody uses it, you get 25 cents.
Yeah. So basically, if anyone's wondering, because when it comes to the larger fish and all that, and because you're in a kayak, you kind of, with the catch photo release tournament, you kind of obviously have to have one hand on your phone, one hand holding the fish. And then it's like, well, when you get to a 40-something inch pike and they don't want to stay straight, you kind of have to figure out, what else can I use to keep this pike straight? And so then you get your big toe and you stick it into the pike and straighten it out.
Into the pike.
Into the pike. Just jam it. No. Yep.
And then it's just like
that's why we love our friend from the island of the convicts. He's not a convict himself, but he's from the island of them.
No, it's Mike likes to run the joke because one of the photos I submitted last year, quite literally, I had my big toe on its butt.
See, if you send me that video, we can play it one day.
Yeah, we could. Well, I don't have that video. Like, I don't have the video of me putting a toe on the butt, but I do have.
Well, we don't want that one.
We have plenty of videos.
We don't need your exotic reel.
Whoa, this is a G rating, Broden. We're not going R.
Yeah, I've got plenty. I got plenty of videos on the GoPro of myself losing quite a few pike over the board before measuring them and stuff like that.
You know what? I actually have that somewhere too, and I can find it here quick, because if I'm not mistaken, did we put some of the bloopers of that in our catch photo release video?
I don't think you put the bloopers. No, I don't think you put bloopers there. I haven't finished the blooper reel because I've got a lot of bloopers.
Okay, quickly.
I'm just seeing Jonathan.
Jonathan has a question.
A beginner kayak that can hold a decent amount of weight for less than $1,300. You know what? There is so many kayaks out there. Really, it's gonna depend on what you want it to do for you. As Carl just commented right there, a used one. Get a used one, because you can get a used $2,000 kayak, or you can find like a $1,500 kayak, but it's been upgraded, comes with a paddle, all this kind of stuff for right around that price range.
So
if you're seriously looking for one, look me up on Facebook. My picture, you can't miss the picture, because it's me sitting next to what looks like a political sign, and if you zoom in, it says I'm an asshole. I'm not running for anything. I just wanted a sign, and I'm sitting there in a suit with a glass of scotch. Reach out to me. I can help you get set up, but I'm going to tell everybody right now, don't worry so much about your kayak that you're getting into. Invest in a good PFD and a decent, if you're getting a paddle kayak, a good paddle. Yeah. Because you can have an absolute just bottom line cheap kayak, and if you've got a good paddle and a comfortable PFD that you can get out on the water all day with, you will spend the entire day on the water and not care about anything. If you'll find that if you buy a good kayak, but you buy a crappy paddle and an uncomfortable PFD, you will absolutely detest being on the water. So the biggest thing that I always say to people is spend the money on a paddle, spend the money on a PFD. Once you've got those, look at what you have budgeted left, get a kayak that'll get you on the water, and from there you can upgrade that.
So also to add on to that, I like Carl and Mike have said, also used. I keep in check with Marketplace quite often. I did see a used Jackson Lisker for a little bit above your budget But that thing, I can say for sure, I will never sell that kayak. That thing's phenomenal for fly fishing and stuff. And I know you're a fly fisherman too, because it's a nice flat deck, and you could try looking at that. And obviously, like Mike said, if you get a cheap paddle, it's going to flex a lot. You're not going to deliver the power to your paddling, and you're not going to enjoy it. That's the main thing, because if you get a more premium paddle that's more stiff, you can generate more power. So then in your, like when you're relaxing and just paddling along gently, you're actually delivering all that power through the paddle. Because if you get like a cheaper paddle that flexes, you're losing that through that flex of the shaft. So you definitely want that. And like
the worst thing, the greatest thing is the cheap aluminum paddles with the plastic blades. Yeah. If you're in a pedal drive kayak, because you're only going to use it maybe 4 minutes a day. If you're going to be out paddling on the water, 100% you want like a carbon fiber shaft with fiberglass blades or something like that. Yeah. But Jonathan, if you go on Facebook, I actually just sent you a friend request. We'll chat about it. I've got a bunch of different things that I can kind of help you with. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to get rid of this fruit fly that's in my face. It's just been buzzing
Mike
around.
Probably also has a dozen paddles sitting in his back garage, mind you.
I'll tell you right now that for $1,300, I can get you into a really nice paddling kayak with a really comfortable seat with a carbon fiber shaft paddle that may or may not have taken 5th place at the Trout Derby. My brother-in-law's kayak is sitting in my garage for sale, and that comes with a cart. So I sent you a request. Get hold of me. We'll get you hooked up, and then you can come out and fish buffalo with us. Are you coming, Mitch?
Oh, I don't know. It's a hard one. I've
got another paddling kayak that I can throw in between my other two, and I can bring it out for you, bud.
It's going to be a late decision. I'm still trying to work my way into Cold Lake, so.
No, you don't have to. You don't. Cold Lake's not until August, dude. We're fishing Cold Lake in August for the kayak derby.
I don't know. It's a pretty good tournament next week. Not this weekend. Next weekend.
Yeah, that ain't no kayak derby though. Until you catch Lakers in a kayak, anybody can catch them out of a big boat.
That sounds like August thing.
It is.
I know. Yeah, no, I gotta stretch the boat's legs. I got her out on Sunday. She likes ripping, so I might as well get her out.
Well, I'm going to throw this shameless plug out there. If you're looking for some people to take out, depending on how many people you want to take out, my wife and my daughter and me and my son would love to go out and fish some walleye in a real boat. So
walleye.
Like walleye? They fight like wet logs.
Hey, I don't care. I'm very ashamed to say that my wife has outfished me, and I still have the picture of her. It's actually up on a board I have up over here. The picture is right there with her with a monster walleye she caught off ashore, and she's caught a bigger walleye than I've ever been able to measure. I had one at the East Slope the one year that I lost, but she caught that thing offshore, and yeah, my wife hasn't. I'm gonna say, and I'm sure your wife and Stephanie still gets to come out because you guys don't have kids. Once the babies come, the wives don't get to come fishing much. So the babies are old enough now that the wife gets to come fishing. Oh yeah, there you go. See, Mitch, you better post that.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Wet logs, Broden.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just another Australian slang. Don't worry about it. It's hard to translate over.
Oh no, hey, I get it. I think that pike and rainbow trout put up way more fight than a walleye does. Absolutely.
If it's a big walleye, though, it's a pretty big bulldog.
I'd say river walleye are different.
Yes. Yeah.
But I've also had cases where I've had a 28-inch walleye on the side of the boat, and it basically pulled up like it was just dead. So just, I don't know.
I don't know. I've caught some big ones kind of everywhere, and like 30+ ones in Lake Winnipeg, in like 3-4 feet of water. They just rip on you.
Yeah, but whoa! That's not Alberta. That's Lake Winnipeg. That's different.
They're greenbacks.
Yeah, but some big Red Deer River's got some monster walleye in it too. I think my biggest one out of there is 29.5, and my wife got one 29.5 as well out of there. Then some big ones.
I've hit some big stuff right in Red Deer. We used to go and launch our kayaks right at the Golf and Country Club, and then float all the way down to 3 Mile Bend. And I mean, for anybody that's looking for a fun, relaxing float that you can catch a ton of fish, going through Red Deer, you can catch a ton of stuff. Like I've caught a 24-inch brown on Red Deer River. I've caught pike. I've caught sauger, walleye, whitefish. Like I've been floating down, sitting in the kayak, looking down, and there's a massive school of whitefish right underneath you. Goldeye. It's like, it's an amazing fishery.
Oh yeah.
It's absolutely great. I think we should do a tournament there.
Yeah.
Tournament.
Yeah. The three of us, me and Mitch against Broden. Our scores add up. Broden's on his own.
You need more than that. No, like not to sound too arrogant, but how many SummerSlam titles does someone have here?
Well,
I have none.
I have SummerSlam photos. Broden doesn't, and Mitch doesn't.
So
I win out of the three of us. They're horrible, but I win.
No, but no, with the WCKFT, we like Mike said, like we're always looking to expand too. So if anyone's coming along, or if anyone is part of the trail too, and they say, "Hey, I'm from this area and there's some really great fishing," like currently we've got 13 events.
13 events, so there's 12 in person. So we just ran the Trout on the Fly and the Sucker Derby this couple weeks ago. We've got Buffalo this weekend. The Southern Alberta Showdown is coming up at Carrollside, and again, so it was funny. We had we fished Dried Meat Lake up by Camrose, and that wasn't something that anybody came up with. That was from fisheries. They're like, "Hey, have you ever fished this lake?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Well, there's some good pike." I'm like, "Well, yeah, sure." The first year we did it, it was funny because there was tornado warnings, and I didn't fish it, but I was in Stony Plain at a birthday party. So I'm getting these texts, and of course, I'm setting all this up, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, "Oh my God, like how horrible is this? The first year of the trail, and I've got a tornado event here. The Sucker Derby sucked." Like, I was just like, "Oh my God." Everybody came in, and a guy literally caught this massive pike. He had a 36-inch measuring board, and it hung over the back of the board like this. So we could only count it as 36. He caught it like right next to the dock. Everybody pushed their kayaks offshore, and off they went. That was a lake that was given to us by fisheries. Carrollside this year is the same thing. Talking to fisheries, we were trying to get out on Eagle, but because Eagle's a 100% catch photo release, they're like, "Yeah, no, we can't do that." He's like, "Well, have anybody ever fished Carrollside?" I said, "Well, no." Is it good? He goes, "What?" "Yeah." He goes, "It'll be a good lake for you guys. It's a nice, small, like long reservoir." I'm like, "Great." So we've got that. And then this is the first year that we branched out of Alberta and Saskatchewan. And so what better way to branch out of Alberta and Saskatchewan than to do bass derbies the exact same weekend in BC and Manitoba? So we've got a bass derby in Vaso Lake, which for anybody that, if anybody's around that, want to take a trip to BC, go down and do that. Because after the bass derby, if you hang out a couple days, there is some massive carp out on Vaso Lake, and they are so much fun. And then we're also doing Wellman Lake in Saskatchewan that exact same weekend. That's June 24th. So it's going to be great. where do we go next? Creighton. We head up to Creighton Valley, so it's monster pike. I'm pretty sure Broden's much like me that he wants to go up and do rubies and Mosier.
I would definitely, because if you ever get a chance to go into the Creighton area, that's got some of the best pike fishing, walleye fishing, whitefish fishing, and even smallmouth bass
and trout.
And trout. If you if we're looking at, because I'm in charge of SummerSlam, so I get to see all of the really big trout that Flynn seems to catch around that area. And just imagine a very small head and a very large body.
Yeah, they're a football. But they're like grab a football and drag it lengthwise, but keep the height. They're just massive trout that they get up that way. So we go up there for 2 days for the Ruby's Gator Classic, then Madness on Mosier.
Yep. And speaking of that too, if anyone, including if you're in a boat, reach out to us and we can set you up with Flynn. He can set you on a few lakes if you're heading that way too, because he lives out that way and he'll put you on some great fish. He doesn't.
Oh yeah, we've got a group of anglers already that's kind of formed this little group, and I hate them. I really kind of hate them at the moment, because they're going to fish Manitoba for bass, and then they've got 5 hours from Wellman Lake up to Creighton. So they're going to spend 5 days hitting all of these lakes for amazing walleye and bass and everything between Manitoba and Creighton. So I'm a little upset about that.
And it's only 35 minutes away from Lake Atherpau, the lake that I know Scott Connolly really likes.
Yep.
Got some big pike and big lakers in that lake.
So, Mitch, you ever fished Lesser Slave Lake?
Yeah. I've fished it a few times.
We got a kayak derby there coming up.
Yeah.
In July. It's an amazing derby.
Yeah, it'd be a good time. It's a fun lake. Lots of good walleye, pike, perch.
Yeah, and it's now a zero retention on pike, so we're fishing walleye there. And I mean, I love Lesser Slave Lake. I fished it years and years ago, fishing off the old bridge deck at Jussard.
Yeah.
And, catching 10-pound walleye off the old bridge deck and stuff. So it's amazing. We're kayak fishing there in July. From there, we actually head back out to Saskatchewan to Lake Diefenbaker. And Denise, who's watching this right now, Denise has decided after running the derby last year that it should be a 2-day derby out there. But apparently she knows that Saskatchewan fishers get lazy. So they're going to fish the morning. Then they're going to come in and have tacos and a siesta and then go back out fishing. And then they're going to fish again the next morning. So it's going to be a phenomenal event out there. Then we come back. Mitch, if you're available, we'll get you hooked up. You got to come to the East Slope Kayak Fishing Classic. We do it Glenifer Lake. Super fun. So many species. 2 days. Yeah. You can probably watch me lose some amazing fish.
Mostly small fish, but he loses a lot.
I lose a lot of fish, but I lose the odd really big fish because instead of putting it on the measuring board and taking a picture, I'm like, holy crap, look at this thing I caught. And then it goes away. I think it was like a 29-inch walleye. I had it on the board 3 times and it jumped off. And I still don't know how it got anywhere because I was literally beached on the rocks and it went on the rock side of my boat and disappeared.
Huh.
So it's
yeah. I'll probably do some research before that one. It's only 20 minutes away, so.
Oh, exactly. And then Cold Lake. You got to save that weekend in Cold Lake and come fish with us. It's for anybody who's never tried it. Lake trout in a kayak is an absolute blast. And I'm gonna toot the horn of Broden. Last year I took my son out. It was the first time he had ever fished for Lakers. It was a tough day for us last year fishing on cold. There was lots of people that didn't get anything and lots of people were struggling. And my son didn't catch anything on the day of the Derby. So the next day we all went out in the morning and went fishing. And yeah, Broden, Buzz Bomb Mafia. Absolutely. Broden is the official spokesman of Buzz Bomb for the Western Canada Kayak Fishing Trail. I'm pretty sure Broden came out with probably 150 Buzz Bombs at the Cold Lake Derby and left with one, because he was just giving them to everybody. He's like, you got to use a Buzz Bomb. You got to use a Buzz Bomb. So, Tim, if you ever watch this, you've got to get Broden on your team. He is Team Buzz Bomb for life. But yeah, Broden, it was awesome. Broden got out there and he helped my son get on. He helped my son get on a 24.5-inch lake trout. It was absolutely amazing to see the look on Ben's face. I mean, that was as a dad, I couldn't be more proud. And as a friend of Broden, I couldn't be more proud of what he did. It was super amazing to see him step up. And he's like, come on, we're going to hook you into something. And I'm like, whatever. And I'm like, he's like, fish on. I'm like, you guys suck. Like, I'm still sitting here jigging, catching nothing. And Broden's catching them left, right, and center. And then he gets Ben onto one as well. So,
yeah. I basically called him over and he didn't believe me. So I said, just jig that a little bit. And all of a sudden he hooked onto one. But
of course, Broden may have been using a rod that was designed for like tiger shark, I think. Rindy, tiger shark related, probably. I don't know. Because that 24.5, there was no bend in that rod. It was still dead straight. So
I was going through a little bit of a rod clean out. So I decided to bring my big Savage Gear pike bait rod out. So that thing doesn't really bend over for really anything. And so to watch it, and basically to leave it left on my pike setting, which on the drag system. So I almost watched a kid that's probably the best part of 60, 70 pounds almost get ripped over the side of his kayak.
Oh, yeah. It was absolutely amazing. Like, Ben's kayak's moving around. He's like, whoa. And of course, let's be honest, the butt on this rod's probably that big. So it's like, Ben's got it sitting on his crate behind his seat to actually be able to hold the reel. So yeah, no, it was awesome. And you know what, Broden, I'm going to say because of you, because of your help with Ben actually won a couple of awards for that fish that you helped him get on. So
I noticed that.
He's got $150 to spend at the Sportsman's Den in Red Deer. So I might have to tell him he might have to spend a bit of it on some fly tying shit for you.
Oh, no, I don't need any more fly tying gear, because if we zoom this, what was that? We go down here, there's that fly tying, and down here, that's more like, I don't actually have any space on my table to fit my laptop. It's sitting on top of more flies.
Okay, so what you're saying is you're going to bring me out some flies. That's what I heard, Mitch. How about you?
So we can make more room for stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that tray.
Okay, you can take that tray.
So, Mitch, what's hot right now?
Whitefish are.
Definitely.
Sunday was insane. Like, we couldn't keep them off pretty much. It was one after another, like first cast, boom, second cast, boom. It was just, and big ones. They weren't small. They were the top end Sylvan Lakers, not those smaller ones. It was all like good fish on Sunday. There was one little guy, but luckily he got off, so I didn't have to touch him. But no, it's sweet right now. It's in that transition period. That water temperature is going up, so they're going to be hugging those drop-offs to where that deep water is. And as soon as it gets a little warmer, they're going to go out and suspend. The bigger ones are anyways. And I already seen them staging. I ran over some about 40 feet of water, and they're 30 to 20 feet down. A big suspended school. So they're already started moving, but you can always get those smaller ones in the shallows, but you won't find the big ones anymore. They'll be pushed off the drop-offs. You got a week or two.
Yeah. I'm sort of caught. Got like, either do I go for whites or do I hit the rivers again? Because I'm looking at the river reports and everything. It looks like the Brown's going to be pretty hungry.
Yeah.
So I might be waiting this weekend, actually, of all things.
Ooh.
Okay, so let me ask you, Mitch, goldeye.
I wait till they move up the river for them. They're more of a fall thing for me.
Oh, really?
They are Alberta's trophy fish.
Oh, it's absolutely the tarpon of the north, because you hook into one of those on even a 5-weight fly rod, it's like, hey, guess what? No, I'm not coming in. And they're gone. They're great fun.
Yeah, I won't touch them till later. I kind of have how my fish are laid out for the year and just go through that pattern.
Yeah. Well, Mitch, there's a spot on the there's a spot on the river that we might have to get you out on a kayak.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Because there's a couple spots that we go to fish goldeye, and yeah, if we can get you out there, it's pretty amazing going and just get an ultralight setup or like a 3-weight fly rod or something like that and go for those goldeye. Man, they are fun on a kayak. I
know Ricky and Kyle were down south on the Red Deer catching a bunch of goldeye last weekend, and there's a video out on Rickles Fishing.
I really don't understand why Ricky doesn't like catching them. They're a phenomenal fighting fish.
Oh, I love goldeye, but hey, let's put it this way. From where we are, Mitch, we're probably about a maximum of a half-hour drive from some amazing goldeye fishery.
Yeah. Yeah, you can head further east and it gets better right this time of year. They'll move up just like the whitefish do when they come up.
Yeah. I was looking back. Josh had said never seen browns or whitefish in the Red Deer.
Oh yeah.
Josh, my personal best brown was actually there's like a little strip island right next to Bower Ponds in Red Deer. I had crossed over the river and I was right there, and that's where I caught that. And the whitefish, I've had amazing luck on whitefish in the Red Deer between Taylor and Gates. Between those two bridge crossings, like I've floated down and looked down and there's just schools of them sitting there. So
yeah. You'll generally find below the dam they're obviously a lot fewer, but you'll also find the odd big one swimming through.
There's lake whitefish below the dam and Rocky Mountain.
Yeah.
They've coming over. I don't know how the lake ones got in there, but there must be some in Glenifer.
Probably, yeah, coming through the spillway.
Yeah. But because I know there used to be some big rainbows under the dam too. That one
there was
stocked with rainbows that came through.
Yeah. I can remember like 6-7 years ago, I can remember like amazing pictures of browns and rainbows caught right at the foot of the dam there, like just huge fish.
Yeah, there's still a lot of browns there.
Yeah.
I've caught them all the way through town up to the dam. So
let's be honest. The Red Deer River is an amazing fishery.
Yep.
Like you can catch some amazing fish. I see John Lecoyer commenting on here. He can comment. I can't remember if I'm incorrect, John, please correct me, but I think it was like a 24 or 26 inch brown offshore at Dixon. Right?
Yeah.
Just like literally walked over the side of the dam, cast out and caught this massive brown. We've seen people catch huge burbot out of Glenifer. Like it's an amazing fishery. Like there's so many species in there for people to target.
Don't forget the brook trout. There's some decent sized brook trout too.
There's, you know what, the Red Deer River system, depending on where you go north and south.
The brook trout?
Wade Klaus, my buddy.
Oh yeah,
that was a good size one.
Yep.
I've seen brown, lots of walleye in there, pike. I've never seen
Lots
a
of
brook
walleye,
trout.
lots of pike. There is burbot, like big burbot. Bob Griffith, I think it was actually during an east slope, and that was the year before we actually put burbot as one, before they allowed us to put burbot as one of the target species. He caught like a 32 or something like that, 32-inch burbot out of his kayak in like freaking, I think it was like the middle of July or something like that. I can't remember when we held the Derby, but it was absolutely crazy. This huge burbot caught, and it was like right next to shore.
Yeah.
Like, it's a phenomenal fishery. North Saskatchewan, another great fishery.
Yeah. The sturgeon are biting pretty good right now. I've seen a lot of good pictures.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited because River Valley Outfitters had donated 2 half-day. I don't know if you had seen those on the table or not. There was
No, I didn't.
There was 2 half-day jet boat trips on the North Saskatchewan from River Valley Outfitters, and luckily I placed good enough in the trout derby that I was able to snag one of those. So I'm going to use that to go sturgeon fish.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd be choosing it soon because those sturgeon are starting, like Mitch said, they're starting to move, and there's some really.
Otherwise, you could wait till the fall bite.
I'll
Yeah,
either
good
wait
luck.
till the fall or wait to next year. I think I've got until like the end of next year to book the trips. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Go like
so,
May long. May
yeah,
long's
no,
always
it's
good.
it's great. I mean, we've had so many great people out at all of our kayak fishing events, and it's just like you talk to people that are like, well, yeah, normally I fish this and this and this, and we sat around talking with a bunch of people, and they're like, well, you know, oh, I've fished this body of water, and this is what I'm using, and it's been a great year for fishing. I don't think I've ever seen so many people so eager to share their fishing locations. Like this year's been crazy. It's like people are like, nah. I mean, we've all seen it. Everybody posts their picture, and it's like their head, their body, everything's blurred out. It's like, dude, it's a bunch of trees. The people that recognize those trees already know that those fish are there. You don't have to blur out your picture. But these people, everybody I've met this year is like, oh man, this has been great fishing. This has been great fishing. It seems like it's been really good this year so far for everything.
Yeah, everything did a good swing this year, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get some more water.
That's
This hot temperature is going to be hard on the rivers this year. Down south, I bet you there'll be lots of closures.
Oh,
Yeah.
I could see them coming into effect in another month or so.
Because I know even the bow's low already.
Yeah, month or so.
chart.
If we don't see some serious rain, I would expect by the end of June. I'm just looking. It's the 6th, so by the end of June, I would be surprised if we don't see closures on the bow again.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to get some rain Sunday, Monday, maybe. Like a pretty good heavy dump. But if that stays in the forecast, who knows?
I sure hope so. We need the rain, you know, the forest fires and everything. Everybody always talks about the dryness and stuff, but so many people forget about how much of that water we need for our fisheries here in Alberta. It's huge. It's gonna allow these fish to be able to move freely throughout these river systems.
Yeah, for sure. I'll cool everything down. Give them a little more comfort from the sun and whatnot. But so this weekend, how do you sign up to get into Buffalo this weekend?
So we use the Fishing Chaos app. So if you go on Fishing Chaos and look up the Western Canada Kayak Fishing Trail, you can find our club, join our club, and then you can go in, sign up through the app. You got to purchase a subscription. The way we're running it this year, other years we ran it where it was like you paid for every event through Fishing Chaos, and it was a pain. It was an absolute pain because everybody paid for their registration plus an entry fee and all this kind of stuff. So now you just go on, you pay a monthly subscription, and then you sign up for that. Send your payment for the each of our derbies, except for the East Slope, is $50. You send an e-transfer to westcankayakttrail@gmail.com. And you come out and fish with us. And if you got any questions, reach out to Broden, to myself, or to the Western Canada Kayak Fishing Trail. We'll get you hooked up. There's always extra kayaks that we can find somewhere. So if you want to come out and fish, but you don't have a kayak, but you'd love to try it, Broden's got 3. I've got 4 or 5. I've got 6 still at home. Yep. So, reach out to us. Somebody will get you hooked up with a kayak.
Or if you're in the Spruce Grove area, check out Hooked Up Fishing Gear and Outdoors. They've got a bunch of rental fleet.
Yeah, they've got some great rentals too. Those the Vibe kayaks that they've got look pretty cool. They actually, I don't know if you saw those, Mitch. They started 3D printing some mounts to go on the tracks.
I just ordered my set.
Even for guys in big boats, if you've got a track system down the side, you could put those on there and it'll allow you to stage a bunch of rods up off the deck, and you could put a strap over them to hold them down. It's a great idea.
Yeah, no, they're pretty sweet. I saw them at the spring open house there.
Yeah.
They had them set out there. So, yeah, no, I'll probably be rocking one of those for Cold Lake, I think. One of the Hooked Up kayaks. And maybe for Glenifer. We'll see.
Oh, there you go. Well, you know what? It's what it's all about. I mean, our whole fishing trail, we give away money for the derbies. Top 4 placements. Once we get to a certain number of anglers, I've got to look and see what the number is. But once we get up there, I mean, we're giving away. Dakota Lithium has provided us with 23 amp hour batteries and 10 amp hour power boxes. So we've got those to give away. Blackwater Paddles has given us a bunch of paddles to give away. Lou's Rods stepped up, gave us a shit ton of rods to give away at our derbies. So you come out to our derbies, you got a chance that, if I look back at what was it, Curtis won $360 $560 and had his choice of a 23 amp hour lithium battery, a 10 amp hour power box, a Lou's rod, or a Blackwater paddle. And then there was a couple of Railblazer packs at that event as well. So, we've got a ton of stuff for anglers. So come out, fish. You know what? It doesn't matter how you do. You're going to be out there. You're going to fish. You're going to have fun. And you're going to get out in the water and catch some amazing fish, meet some great people.
Yeah, as long as you beat Broden and Mike, it's okay.
Hey, I got a 3rd place finish. I'm done for the year.
Retiring.
I'm leaving. And so I'm just going to say this right now. Going in to this weekend, hold on, let me, largest to smallest. So we've only had 2 derbies, and all I have to say is thank you to the anglers that placed 1st through 8th in both derbies. They did amazing in one and sucked in another. This is the first time ever that I'm sitting in 1st place. And I know it's gone this weekend when I go to Buffalo Lake, because I never do good at Buffalo. Buffalo is that's my nemesis. I suck at Buffalo. But I mean, right now, if I go 1st through 10th, there is only 25 points difference between 1st through 10th place in the Western Canada Kayak Fishing Trail. So, and then we take that, and what we actually do off of that is we take, out of the 12 in-person events, we take your best 7 events. So you don't have to drive to BC. You don't have to drive to Manitoba. You know, you can, if you fish all of the Alberta events, you've got 7 events.
Huh.
So this is the first time I've ever actually seen my name in a place. I was like, well, that's wrong. I got to redo it. So it's good. But I will just say Broden's in 6th. I'm beating Broden.
I also made coffee for the morning of both events and also was drinking.
And you are a great coffee maker, Broden.
I thought I heard different the first day.
Well, I'm going to say he might be great at making coffee, but he's not very good at putting the cream away into a cooler, because I threw away a great big thing of cream every day because it got really warm.
I got told to make coffee, not put away stuff.
Oh, okay. For next year, we'll make sure you're made known to put stuff in a cooler.
Yeah.
Part of the job description.
I know. I got job description. I saw everything up to make coffee. Everything else.
He's like, oh, coffee. That's his jam. He's all about the coffee.
Yeah. Well, fellas, I got stuff to do and I'm beat. I got to hit the shower. Thanks for being on, Mike. Where can I find you?
Mike Zilkowski Outdoors, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Mike Z Outdoors or Mike Zilkowski Outdoors. And more than me, go and check out the Western Canada Kayak Fishing Trail on Facebook, West_can_kayak_fishing_trail at Instagram. I didn't make that one up. Yeah, that wasn't me. I was like, oh, that's a lot of words. But check us. _____. Yeah, just a whole bunch of unders. Check out the Western Canada Kayak Fishing Trail on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. Everything we do is on there. And then wckft.wordpress.com.
And Broden?
Frodo goes on an adventure on Instagram and Broden Smith on Facebook. And like with the West Can thing, just literally type in West Can and it'll show up as the first search. So that's it. Yeah.
And if you want Broden to answer your question, please just write. I'm writing to Broden because he usually takes a while to answer.
Yes, I noticed a few people like to message me in the middle of my workday when I'm busy at work. So yeah, I'm
at work too when I message you, so don't even start. Yeah. I message Mitch in the middle of the workday and he answers.
Yeah, but you guys sit on a desk behind a computer while I'm working with my hands.
Hey, listen here, Spider-Man. Answer your phone.
No.
Oh, Spidey. All right, everybody. We will new whitefish video coming as soon as possible. We'll see if I make it to do some kayak fishing this weekend. Otherwise, I'll get out somewhere for a little. We might just take a drive out west, but who knows? We'll see you next Tuesday. I think we're talking Cold Lake and Cold Lake Tournament. See everyone later.
See you later, guys.